Welcome to English 102. Study Session 1. Nouns. Introduction. The parts of speech is a term in grammar that refers to the categories of words in a language. There are 8 parts of speech in English. These are nouns, pronouns, verbs, adjectives, adverbs, prepositions, conjunctions, and interjections. In this lecture, we shall discuss nouns. We shall describe and explain different classes of nouns and their peculiar features. Objectives. At the end of this lecture, you should be able to 1. Identify nouns in different contexts. 2. State the role each plays wherever it occurs. 3. Use nouns effectively. And 4. Distinguish between types of nouns. Pretest. 1. What is a noun? 2. What are the different classes of nouns? 3. Identify nouns in the following excerpt. At a tender age, young poor Chika lived with great expectations. He realized that his community could only boast of 2 graduates. He also discovered that most of his uncles ended their education at grade 4, many of them not bothering to advance to the secondary school. Years later, he was admitted to study medicine and surgery. As he had no one to support him financially, he had to engage himself in menial jobs. However, he did not let it disturb his studies. Adapted from The Book of Poor Chika, Saturday Punch, March 17, 2007. The English language contains several words that make up its vocabulary. Most of these words are listed in a dictionary, and they are put under different categories. This depends, however, on the similarities in their grammatical behavior in the language. For instance, a word can be used to name things, people, or ideas, nouns. Another word can be used to describe an action, verb, or used to describe a thing, adjective. A word can also describe the mode of an action, adverb. Thus, due to their different behavioral patterns, words have been classified according to a Klein called parts of speech. The recognized parts of speech are nouns, pronouns, verbs, adjectives, adverbs, prepositions, conjunctions, and interjections. In this lecture, we shall discuss nouns. Before discussing types of nouns, we shall define the term noun as a naming word. It names people, animals, things, places, ideas, notions, etc. Proper nouns. Let's start by introducing ourselves. My name is Akanji and I live in Ibadan. My pet is with me here and its name is Tiger. What about yours? I assume your name will be something like Funke, Ngozi, Alkali, Shuaib, Wakama, Nina, Claudius, Laetitia, Mustafa, and a host of others. In class, students have nicknames or aliases such as Puma, Johnny, and Walata, and also call their teachers nicknames. I also assume that you come from different places such as Lagos, Akure, Kano, Kafanchan, Zamfara, Abuja, Benin, Warri, Port Harcourt, Onitsha, etc. In some cases, you hear people give names to their pets, such as dogs and cats. You may call your dog Tiger, while your neighbor calls hers Peace. These names, you will observe, identify each of these dogs and stand them out from the others. Thus, one who has 5 dogs may have 5 different pet names for them. Then your pet may be called Favor if you have one, or some other names. Your house may be called a palace, even when you are not a king or a queen. If we put all our names together, we shall arrive at the following. Names of people: Akanji, Funke, Ngozi, Alkali, Shuaib, Wakama, Ninna, Claudius, Laetitia, and Mustafa. Nicknames: Puma, Johnny, and Walata. Names of places: Lagos, Akure, Kano, Kafanchan, Zamfara, Abuja, Benin, Warri, Port Harcourt, and Onitsha. Proper names of pets or other things: Tiger, Favor, Peace, Palace. These names are proper nouns because they identify each person, place, or thing among a group. In addition, the names in the following categories all fall under the class of proper nouns: business organizations, airports, days of the week or month, educational institutions, hotels or restaurants, religious festivals, sacred books, seaports, courses, languages, etc. Common nouns. You will note, however, that there are other words which also name people, places, or things. These include man, woman, boy, girl, aunt, uncle, nephew, niece, father, mother, teacher, trader, and singer. For persons: room, road, school, market, farm, and workshop. For places: and table, water, oil, salt, chair, goat, cattle, scarf, computer, and radio. For things. Since these words also name things and people, they are referred to as nouns. Nevertheless, they have to be distinguished from those in the first group. The nouns in the first group are called proper nouns because they are the names that identify individual persons, places, and things. The nouns in the second group are called common nouns since these are names which more than one person, place, or thing has in common. Now, what is the difference between the two? The major distinguishing factor is that proper nouns identify individuals with their names, but common nouns are shared by more than one person. For instance, when a class teacher faces his or her students and says, "Boys, stand up," only students that are boys will rise. When the same instruction is passed on to the girls, only students that are girls will stand up. However, when he says, "Makta, stand up," only the individual addressed as Makta will rise. This means that boy is common to all the male children and girl is common to the female children in that school and anywhere else. But Makta is peculiar to only one of them. Thus, Makta is a proper noun, but boys and girls are common nouns. To distinguish this in writing, proper nouns always begin with capital letters, while common nouns start with small letters. Collective nouns. Now you must be wondering whether words such as choir, panel, crew, audience, congregation, team, crowd, swarm, etc. are common nouns. Yes, they are, because there are different units of each in the society. For instance, there are different football teams, congregations in churches and mosques, audiences at lectures and cinema houses, etc. However, these words have a unique quality that distinguishes them from other common nouns. This is in the sense that they represent a collection of people or things. Choir is a group of singers in a church. Audience is a group of people watching a movie or listening to a talk. And crowd is a group of disorganized people on the street. Thus, the nouns are called collective nouns. Concrete and abstract nouns. Concrete nouns refer to words that name things which can be seen and touched. Such words include boy, bicycle, book, jug, cup, table, clock, etc. The opposite is the abstract noun. It refers to nouns, which may be an idea or a concept, but whose referent may not be seen physically or touched. Perhaps such concepts occur in the mind. For instance, beauty and fate are abstract nouns because we may know that a thing is beautiful, but we may not be able to extract the beauty from the thing. We can also say that a person has fate, but we cannot see or touch that fate. Thus, such words are called abstract nouns because they name entities that cannot be touched. Other examples of abstract nouns include love, fear, sadness, joy, justice, belief, sincerity, etc. Countable, count, and uncountable, non-count nouns. We can also draw a line between nouns that can be counted, count nouns, and those that cannot be counted, non-count nouns. The following words belong to the class of countable nouns because we can take them apart and count them. House, teacher, friend, clock, book, student, box, and car. However, the following cannot be counted: water, salt, information, flour, rice, beans, soup, and air. Notice, however, that uncountable nouns may become countable in some instances. We may use established measurements to count them, as in the following sentences: 2 pints of blood, 4 buckets or sachets of pure water, 3 pieces of silver, 2 loaves of bread, 5 kilos of yam powder, 10 bags of rice, etc. You may wonder why we consider items such as rice and beans uncountable. The fact is that the stress one will go through in counting the grains does not justify the exercise. The grains are too many to be counted. When next you want to cook either of them, try and count the content of about 2 cups. Then tell your friends later how easy it was. You might be tempted to equate concrete nouns with countable nouns and abstract nouns with uncountable nouns. Although this might be correct in some instances, it is not always so. The fact is that concrete nouns such as water, oil, bread, and salt are not countable, but abstract nouns like belief and fear are countable. Nouns and numbers. Singular and plural are concepts that represent one and more than one, respectively. Having identified countable nouns in the last section, let us see how nouns form their plural forms. In English, suffixes such as s, es, ies are attached to words to indicate plurality. In some instances, the plural maker is not indicated, a situation referred to as zero plural. There are also other irregular plurals, such as change of internal vowels of words or addition of other affixes, as in oxen and children. Here are some examples. Notice that nouns such as news, ethics, physics, billiards, scissors, measles, politics, mumps, and shares are singular in meaning, though they are plural in form. The fact is that they have no singular form. Perhaps we can refer to them as zero singular. Other examples include glasses, spectacles, thongs, bellows, trousers, knickers, remains, annals, and scissors. Some nouns which do not have the plural affixes are in the plural form. These include people, police, cattle, poultry, and the other examples under collective nouns. Study session summary. In this lecture, we have discussed the noun as a part of speech. In the process, we clarified the term involved. We also examined types of nouns, such as proper nouns, common nouns, collective nouns, concrete and abstract nouns, as well as countable, count nouns, and uncountable, non-count nouns. That ends study session 1. Thank you for listening.